I'm calling off my wedding because my husband refuses to wear this one thing.
What's the one thing?
Okay.
One time. No, okay.
One time, Sam, shut up and let John read the story. I'm 26 years old and I'm getting married to my husband, 28. I'm from a small village and moved to the US 5 years ago. That's important because in such a short amount of time, I have not assimilated to the US culture and I'm still very involved in mine. When I met my husband, a few weeks into us dating, he told me that he was going to marry me as a joke.
Prank!
Got you, baby.
Yeah.
Thought I actually loved you.
You thought we were going to have everlasting love and happily ever after?
Freaking idiot. But I told him how marriage works in my culture and he praised how beautiful it was. Fast forward to now. We agreed on doing 2 weddings, one of my culture and the other an American wedding. In my village, when you got married, both spouses got a gold bangle sort of thing. It's equivalent to a wedding ring. There's a ceremony and a party for that as well. It's molded on your wrist and it can't come off unless you use a saw or something like that.
Shit.
That's for real.
Badass.
Yeah.
That's love.
That's love right there. You can slip a ring on and off all you want.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, are you married? Not today. You want to international waters? Marriage doesn't apply here.
I don't need a saw to take this ring off, baby.
I'll saw you in half, baby.
Damn. With my double dong after my wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Good gravy. Now, during my traditional wedding, I received a gift of these fruits I ate back home, and they're truly my favorite, but I haven't been able to find them in the US. My husband jokes about how he was not looking forward to smelling that every day, which is fine because I hate the smell of sausage, but it's something he loves. Yeah, he would love sausage.
Yeah.
What you trying to say, OP?
Man is getting no head.
Clean down there, buddy. I stayed back home for a week because I had missed it and my husband came home early to prepare for the American wedding. I came home Monday, but I didn't see my husband since he had work, and by the time he had finished, I was already asleep. We had dinner last night and I saw that he didn't have his bangle, and he told me he thought it was just for the party.
Bro, that's a bangle for life. It's like a big ring.
It was molded on your wrist. Like, I feel like it's kind of implied. It's kind of like, yo, can I just like rip my cast off? Like,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know what
no,
I mean?
have the doctor do that.
Yeah.
It would be very hard for him to remove it. It's like a whole thing for him to remove.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
He would have to saw it. And it's usually in gold, so he probably ruined it.
Bro, if that's what this guy did.
He sawed it off. He's like, dude, Stacy was at the company party. Gotta look fresh and single for Stace.
Just in the bathroom, just Amazon Instant, giant hacksaw, chainsaw, most powerful.
Will cut straight through bangle.
Gold resistant. I explained to him how important it is to me, and he said that I couldn't seriously expect him to wear it all the time. I asked him, why not? And he told me it made him look unprofessional. I got upset with him and left. He ended up calling me to explain how it holds no cultural significance to him. I rebutted, asking him if he was fine with me not wearing a wedding ring as it holds no cultural significance to me.
Get freaking wrecked, dude. Get freaking wrecked.
She got him.
That was such a reverse Uno.
That was one of the best reverse Unos.
Wow, dude.
That was incredible. Wow. 10 out of 10, Opie.
Honestly, I'm really, I'm very impressed.
Stuck the landing.
Is she a lawyer?
Maybe.
Because she could be.
You could be.
Cultural lawyer, wear that bangle.
Do it.
And that wedding ring.
Then he got a bit upset and gave me a lecture on how if we were in my country, he would wear it. I feel so turned off and uninterested in this relationship that I am thinking of calling off the whole wedding.
Wow.
Whoa, we are nuclear. But Sam, we have edit and an update.
Oh shit, are you divorced? That's what I want to know.
That's the question. But on to the edit. He did know he would have to wear it permanently. So that answers that question. We talked about this in the early stages of us dating and several times leading up to now when I've had family members get married and when he proposed. Also, he works from home with occasional in-person meetings. On to the big update. So I ended up texting him that morning that I was ready to talk, and he came to my hotel a few minutes later. I explained to him how I felt about him cutting off his bangle without talking to me, and especially after he told me he'd wear it. So he did cut it off.
He did cut it off.
He knew lie. This is not looking good for my boy.
It's just like, it's never the act. It's just like what it means. And it means you like lied and were deceitful.
Basically completely neglecting something that means so much
Exactly.
to your
exactly.
wife.
It's like it's not necessarily the actions what it symbolizes. Like I once broke up a girl because she didn't buy a dress, and there is a valid reason why I did that, but the action was just not buying the dress that I recommended.
Yeah, it was, hey babe, you would look so smoking hot in this. You don't want it?
Yeah.
Dumped.
But the reason that I broke up with her is because she forged a receipt to make it look like she bought it.
That is right.
And I'm like, bro, why are you lying about this? That's crazy.
Pretty insane. Now, I don't remember if I explained this earlier, but in my culture, parents cut off their pieces to mold theirs together for their children. That's kind of fire. This bangle gets reshaped for my husband, so it's generations and generations that got passed down to mine that is now destroyed.
That makes it so much worse.
Generations,
dude.
I'm a little bit speechless over here.
Easiest way to sabotage your marriage right here.
I explained if I knew he didn't plan to wear it, we could have bought him a new gold one instead of using mine so I could keep it intact and be able to give it to my children, or we could have made one that could come off. And he told me if there was no way he's gonna wear it, then we could have just gone our separate ways. He apologized and explained that he didn't think he would have to wear it every day. And when I reminded him that he knew this for years, and also reminded him the countless times I've assured him it was fine if he didn't want to, and yet he told me he would. I'd like to note here, he got to design his, and we made it really thin and small where he could wear his watches and it wouldn't show.
Bro, that's crazy. Like what we were saying before is like, oh, maybe it wasn't his style. Bro, you got to make your own bangle.
He's like, babe, it's not my style. I'm such a poor artiste, babe. I need more training.
Oh my God, dude.
I asked him to show me the bangle, so we ended up going to his house. I don't know if the person he took it to was bad at their job or what was going on, but they literally melted it, cut it into several different pieces, so my original design is completely ruined. It probably doesn't make sense to you guys, but that is really upsetting for me.
No, that makes sense. I
get it.
Sucks. The generational thing, I think, is the thing that really gets me. You know, like that's like so fucked. That's so fucked.
Why? I did entertain the idea of maybe he was teased or something, but he assured me it wasn't that, and he just didn't think that it was that serious. I explained that he was basically divorcing me, and he said that I don't have to wear mine either. He got angry with me and kept insisting I was making a big deal out of nothing. I explained to how, the bangle aside, he lied to me about something that he never brought up to me. Also, not to mention, he works from home and only has a biannual in-person meeting where obviously it's formal, so it wouldn't be seen in the first place. There was a lot of back and forth, which, by the way, there's like major undertones in him saying unprofessional, that like he basically thinks the culture is not like professional and polished.
We've done, I think we did another story of like someone wearing like a sari to work.
Yeah.
I mean, most workplaces, especially now, like if they were to even say anything about, oh, this is unprofessional, they would be sued because 100%. Like expressing your culture is like not an un-American thing. It's like the most American thing that you could do.
He got angry with me and kept insisting that I was making a big deal out of nothing. I ended up taking an Uber home, and that same day I went and got mine removed. I returned it to him since he bought it along with his ring and took my bangle with me. I called my parents to see if they can make me another one. It's not the same because I've had mine my whole life. My dad called my husband and wanted an explanation for what he'd done. I would too, Loki. I guess the conversation didn't go well because my father immediately started mourning my marriage with my mother and agreed to send me a new one.
Okay. So the bangle now in her possession is the ruined familial generational one.
Yes, the one the one that he was wearing.
But she can't wear it because it's totally destroyed.
Right. I told my husband for us to pause on the American wedding, which after trying to change my mind, he did give in. Because I want to talk more about what other things he thinks aren't serious. I live in a different state, only about 4 to 5 hours away driving. He was supposed to take me, but wouldn't respond to my texts all night. And since I needed to be home for work, I called his friend. He couldn't get in contact with him either, so he ended up buying me a ticket home and drove me to the airport the next day. My goodness gracious, this man is not on top of it. He drove me over to my house 2 nights ago, and he kept apologizing for everything. He told me that he would rewear it and will get it fixed. but honestly, all of the designs are ruined. And if he wore it now, they wouldn't really change the fact that I know how he truly feels about it. So I can't even enjoy it anymore, which makes a ton of sense. Like the magic's broken. It's gone.
Yeah.
I had a list of things that we talked about in the past and agreed to and just wanted to revisit them.
Like, I mean, can you come back from this?
I know she's trying. She's giving him,
he does seem sorry, but
in his words. But
yeah, it's words.
The actions are not.
And I mean, like if I was marrying a girl and she destroyed my grandma's ring or my great grandma's ring,
yes,
I would be like, she would have to be very sorry.
Yep, which is not the vibe that I'm getting from Opie's husband. I asked him for full honesty, and we did end up taking some things off that he agreed to in the past and admitted to not fully agreeing to, which just didn't make me feel better like I hoped it would, because now I'm rethinking our whole relationship as if everything else had been a lie. He has insisted that he's not going back home until we fix this, but I am not optimistic. I feel I've said everything I needed to say and now have nothing else to say. He's staying at a hotel nearby, and he has been coming down every day and trying to talk, but he's not really saying anything new, and he just keeps repeating the same thing. My dad posted pictures of me with my old bangle, implying that I was single. Damn, daddy. He has been sending me numbers of men he wants me to talk to. I have removed pictures of my traditional wedding from all of my social medias. I don't expect people to understand, since many of you are stuck on just the bracelet alone, but I did receive some good feedback in writing that makes me feel a bit better, since there isn't really anyone I can talk to about this. Also, just like if he had a problem and waited this long and then tried to secretly remove it without talking to me, imagine he had a big problem with me in the future and then he lied to me that everything is fine only to randomly get divorced, even though I didn't know there was an issue to begin with up until then.
This is a more serious case, but it feels very equivalent to the stories we've read where it's like, oh yeah, we both want kids. And then like a couple years later, it's like, well, yeah, just kidding. I don't want kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's like the significance of the thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he lied.
And the fact that he didn't understand the significance, and didn't venture to understand, or actually maybe did and was willfully ignorant like that. Yes. You're not building a relationship on really solid grounds. I feel like it's not like a relationship built on like mutual respect of where each other come from.
So the big question to everyone watching, and then I'm going to ask you, Sam, is does OP go through with the wedding?
Oh, I think nah. I think no, especially because when she went through a bunch of things with him, it was like, hey, these are the things you've agreed with. And then he went through the list and there was a bunch more things that he said like he was willing to do that he's not. It means that a lot of the relationship, it was built on him just trying to like people please so he could get to the next step.
Yes.
You know, it's like the equivalent of the guy that like lies about everything to like hook up with some girl or 100%. Whatever. It's just like you're being a sleaze bag.
Yeah.
And I think if you're doing the same thing to like get married or get to wherever you want in the relationship, you're lying about what you're comfortable with or how you want your life to look like just to get to that next step. You're not building a life that you actually will both want, and that there's going to be a ton of conflict there.
Damn, that was beautifully said, if I might say so myself. You just broke the heck down out of that.
Yeah. Take relationship advice from me. I've been in 4 failed 2-year relationships.
Woo! But yeah, and I think you're totally right. It comes down to him not respecting her, him lying, and the foundation isn't there.
How many years have been? Madison, Patience, Sophie, Ariana. Those are the 4 2 years. And then it was Sam, Natalie, Soph, the Disney princess one.
A couple Sophias in there.
And Ashley. Shut the fuck up, John. Let's get into this next story. I banned my sister-in-law from the wedding because my parents love her more than me. Let me explain. My 43 female fiance, 38 male, are getting married at the end of next month. It's a second marriage, so we've agreed to keep it incredibly small and intimate. We're only inviting 25 of our closest friends and family due to tight budget and wanting to keep things simple. Fiance's sister, 42 female, is used to being the center of attention and has been a real issue for my fiance his entire life. She's the golden child, and his parents spend most of their time and energy catering to her, from driving her to doctor's appointments, to cooking and delivering home-cooked meals, to paying her bills regularly.
Excuse me, I did not know my parents were supposed to be a subscription to a food prep service.
Bro, dude, they're HelloFresh out here.
Come on.
His parents even used to pay him to go clean her apartment for her when he was in college.
When they were dating?
No, I think when he was in college. So probably before they were dating.
Right.
Because he's 38 now.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude. Imagine if like your parents were like, hey, like, can you go clean your sister's apartment? We'll pay you $20.
That'd be great. I wouldn't be mad.
She is often in some kind of medical crisis, which I suspect may be Munchausen's, or at least severe hypochondria. Munchausen's is like when you poison your kid so you can take care of them.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a psychological disease.
Oh my God.
Despite all of that, I've always had good interactions with her and we generally get along. The current issue revolves around sister-in-law's romantic relationship. She's married to a man that she lives with, and I've met several times at holidays and dinners in my future in-law's house. However, sister-in-law also has another partner, I'll call G. Okay, so sister-in-law is dating multiple people at the same time. She's got that little throuple going on.
Got that thing on her.
Hey, G is an older woman who is married to sister-in-law's cousin, who is also a woman.
Where are we? What planet am I on?
I am confused. Okay, wait, just to be clear.
Yeah.
All right, so sister-in-law is married to a man. Sister-in-law has another partner who's called G. G is married to sister-in-law's cousin. So sister-in-law and the cousin are related. It's almost like swinging with your family. Everyone in the family is aware of the relationship. And it's been going on for several years. I met G for the first and only time this past Thanksgiving. Before we arrived, we were told G was now identifying as he, and we were all to address them as masculine. Okay, no big deal, especially when I'd never met them before. When we arrived, I was introduced to G, and I was surprised to see them wearing a very revealing dress. I'm not one to body shame by any means, but G is a very heavy set and older, and this dress had their breasts spilling out and was short enough to make it obvious they weren't wearing underwear.
Oh, good Lord. What a situation this is right here.
Holy, this is complex. This is the way they chose to dress to a family Thanksgiving in New England in November. On top of that, it was obvious, both by smell and appearance, that they had personal hygiene issues.
Nice.
Jesus. We then had to spend the rest of the afternoon watching sister-in-law indulge in PDA with G that was really uncomfortable, while she gushed about having two husbands. The whole situation was off-putting and impossible to ignore. Ensuring sister-in-law was the focus of the day. It was an awkward experience I have no desire to repeat.
Wow.
She's like, I'm so glad I have two husbands. As stated at the beginning, when we sat down to do our wedding invites, we were focused on keeping the list incredibly short, which left out several people we would have really liked to include. When we gave an invite to sister-in-law, we addressed it to her and her husband. Future mother-in-law told us we needed to invite G as well because of their relationship with sister-in-law. My fiance told her sister-in-law that she only got a +1 like everyone else. And neither my fiance or I had any kind of relationship with G. Aside from the fact we both find G incredibly off-putting, we can't trust they'll dress or bathe appropriately for a wedding.
Not bathe.
Man, dude.
That's tough.
Also, I don't get people that don't like taking baths or showers.
I don't either. That's true. It's fire.
I take a shower, dude. I'm ready.
I can't be on a Zoom call if my breath smells bad.
Oh, yeah. I want to smell like a perfume store.
Same.
We know that sister-in-law bringing G will just ensure the focus will be on her and her relationships. My fiance doesn't deserve that on his wedding day. And honestly, neither do I. We thought the matter settled. But my fiance had a family holiday yesterday at his parents' house that I wasn't there for. G was there once again wearing a very short dress and in obvious need of a shower. My fiance made it through the entire evening without the wedding coming up. right until he had one foot out the door. As he was walking out, sister-in-law told him, "I have 2 husbands and they'll both be at your wedding."
Wow, so close.
So close.
So freaking close.
Just say like, take a bath and fucking wear a sundress.
I don't want these vibes at my wedding.
Don't want these vibes.
Your body stinks and your vibe stinks.
I can deal with like a short dress. What I can't deal with is a stank pit, you know?
Yeah.
Stank pit. Fiance was taken aback, but really had to leave. He plans on sending an email to his sister-in-law and parents explaining that G is not invited to the wedding and they need to respect our decision on that. If it comes down to it, we believe that may mean sister-in-law won't be coming to the wedding and could cause a bit of a rift in the family. Am I wrong for wanting to stand our ground and insist G was never invited to the wedding and is not welcome to show up? And there is a little bit of an edit and an update, a big, thick, juicy update.
Oh, God.
But John, tell me, what do you think? Is OP being too sensitive, too restrictive, or not?
This is such an unfortunate thing with weddings because there is kind of a lot of people pleasing that goes on, even though it's your own wedding, because you don't want to like hurt people's feelings and all this. But at the end of the day, it's your wedding. And like it's just, I think it's just the general vibe of G that OP is not about. Like, you could try and point out one particular thing, but I think it's just like, I don't really enjoy them as a person. I don't really know them as a person. And I don't want to celebrate the best day of my life with them. And I think that is all you need to say.
I think also what G does is G brings out an aspect of sister-in-law that OP just doesn't like as well.
Right.
It makes sister-in-law less palatable.
Yes.
It's rough. Would you invite G to your wedding? Let us know in the comments and let's get into this edit and update. Edit. I've been accused of being out of line for misgendering G by using they, them pronouns. To clarify, G asked us to refer to them as he at Thanksgiving, but that has been in flux since then because we're not always in the loop about what's going on with sister-in-law and her partners. We find it more respectful to refer G in gender-neutral terms rather than misgendering them. Okay, so I guess it's like sometimes G is going by he, him, sometimes she, her.
And they're like, we want to be as respectable as we can. Yeah.
All right. On to the update. While my fiance was trying to figure out what to say to his family about the whole situation, and it very much is a whole situation, his mother emailed us to make sure we were going to sister-in-law's birthday and to ask if we were getting excited about the wedding. I told my fiance he clearly couldn't wait any longer to address the situation with his family directly. So he emailed them clarifying sister-in-law only got a +1 to the wedding, and we needed to make sure that was being respected. He also said he didn't appreciate being told by sister-in-law she would be bringing both of her partners to the wedding without even talking it over or asking us if that was okay. I don't have any polyamorous friends, so I wonder if it is seen as like a dick move in like the poly community to be like, hey, this wedding you only get +1.
I could see that, but also
it's more G isn't a vibe.
It's more G's than a vibe, but the flip side of the coin is now a person planning a wedding has to account for 50% more people, a lot more people than maybe they have budget for. And I think you got to go case by case. You put +1, and then someone's like, yo, I'm actually polyamorous. Could I bring 2? And then it's like,
The ensuing meltdown has been ugly to say the least.
Ooh.
Mother-in-law began spamming my fiance with angry and unhinged emails, accusing him of being anti-poly and somehow anti-Semitic. His family is Jewish, obviously including him as well.
Oh, God.
Something that is kind of cool. And the whole situation is fucked up, but it's kind of cool that the parents are like super pro poly. Sister-in-law has said she won't speak to us. Father-in-law advised my fiance not to respond to mother-in-law until she calmed down. Over the past few days, she's now emailing him about random garbage, acting like nothing ever happened. Father-in-law asked to talk to fiance face-to-face today. I thought it was an odd request as they usually just talk on the phone and we live 3 hours away from them. Fiance had to be in the the area for work today. My theory was he planned to offer to help pay for the wedding so our budget would be a non-issue. Not the case. He actually told my fiance that they all thought the budget was a big excuse since we hadn't asked them for any financial help with the wedding. He told his dad the whole reason we didn't ask for help was because we wanted to keep this small and simple and have control over the guests and not feel obligated to invite people we didn't want there. I didn't even invite one of my brothers I don't get along with. Dang. Father-in-law agrees that G presents a lot of issues and asks if they could convince them to be more appropriate for the wedding if that would help. My feeling is at this point it would become such a huge issue that sister-in-law would go out of her way to make everyone feel uncomfortable no matter what to prove a point, which probably would happen. This is a hill it appears everyone is willing to die on. Sister-in-law still won't talk to us for fear of going nuclear. Father-in-law told my fiance we all have to figure this out or it's going to cause a huge rift in the family. I think the damage is already done. No constructive advice was offered. At this point, I just want to email them all myself and say it's a non-issue as sister-in-law is no longer invited. Fiance isn't ready to take that step yet. Still not sure what we're going to do. And the wedding is getting closer by the day. I told my fiance, I'm just not even excited for this wedding anymore, which that's sad. And I just want to call the whole thing off. I don't want to spend the rest of our lives having our wedding be an event that tears his family apart. I'm sad and I'm angry and not feeling like celebrating anything. That sucks.
Why do people make other people's weddings about themselves?
I know it's supposed to be a beautiful celebration.
I'm peeved.
Also, it's like, all right, if I'm at a party and someone's like, hey, like, would love for you to invite you, but you can't bring your girlfriend.
You're like, wait.
Because there's a certain number of people that like, we're trying to keep it small. I would be totally fine with that.
Yes.
Same with the wedding.
Yeah. Like, yo, we got a super limited budget. I love you, but
Yeah. But I don't want a girlfriend. No.
Yeah. I think if you go with the budget thing, it's like, okay, you can,
Yeah. So what do you think, John? Asshole, not the asshole?
Not the asshole at all. People need to stop making other people's weddings about themselves. People should be able to do what they want.
Exactly. And actually, one of the commenters agrees. So Groovy Mama 98 says, not the asshole. Father-in-law said we all have to figure this out or it's going to cause a rift in our family. That's a quote from the story.
Yep.
But from your description of the family, what he really is saying is you two need to fall in line and do what sister-in-law wants, period. Because when sister-in-law isn't happy, it makes mine and your mom's life miserable. So son, it is up to you to give up your expectations of your wedding and make it all about sister-in-law because she is more important than you even on your wedding day. I would get my favorite people and just elope. Great advice from the commenter.
Damn.
Freaking just tape like 10 people to a vacation in Hawaii, dude. Or Bali. Amazing. That sounds dope.
I would do that.
Bali Compound 2.0.
Question mark?
Do you think OP's the a-hole? Put your answers in the comment. And also, I would love to know like your dream wedding destinations for your second marriage. So like it has to be
the
like,
fun one.
Yeah, it has to be like a little bit like more low key.
Yeah.
And it's like, like 20 to 25 people.
No stress, no pressure.
Yeah.
What are you picking?
Put your answers in the comments and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Peace.